So this came into my feed incredibly crazy. I first opened up. I was planning on going through other content. There's a whole tab's worth of content, but I wanted to go through this because I saw this. This in itself is wild. Round. I love Liza P. This is an issue, maybe. Round 8 Studios at NeoWiz has posted a job listed for an AI creator position. The role focuses. Let me see. Let's see. The role focuses on using generative AI, including Stable Diffusion, Mid-Journey, LoRa, and ControlNet to create initial character and background concepts. Can we just highlight the fact that it's a concept? There is hope that it's not strictly. I know there's a thing. People have a thing about any touching AI as it is as bad as hearing your cousin talk about cryptocurrency or NFTs. It's really sketchy. It's really you do you, dude. But it's really weird, right? I don't know. I don't know if comparing generative AI to NFTs and cryptocurrency is appropriate. I don't know yet. Assisting with textures and imaging to 3D modeling, train custom models for project-specific styles, refine output through the in painting and upscaling, integrating these tools into existing art workflow and to accelerate production for the next game. Let me quickly pause on that one. Cool. So anyways, this was the original post I saw about it, and let's look at the posting of the job to where it's really let's break this down first before we break this down. Let me create a character background design concept for concept drafting. And here's the thing, for all intents and purposes, I'm more trusting of a non-American company doing the whole thing with generative AI or AI assisted tools in general. I'm what makes me less scared about this AI situation is the fact that it's Round 8 Studios is a non-American company. That's actually no. Let me. You know what? I have a hot take. What? I could be wrong, but what makes this less scary for me is that Round 8 Studio NeoWiz is a non-American. As an American, this is rough to beat around the bushes, though. Yeah, it's for all intents and purposes, this is incredibly funny for me. But for all intents and purposes, as a non-American company, I've only ever heard of bad things with gaming and AI when a Western American was behind it. was the whole Concord thing a Western game or Eastern? I was right. At the very least, like, Concord was a Western game, developed by Firewalk Studios, an American game development studio based in Bellevue, Washington. Oh no, that's bad. As somebody who lives in the Seattle area and knowing Bellevue, this is bad. Cause like I think there's an EA Studios like in Kirkland as well. It's like ooh, what is it? Is there AI use generally in Asian games? Is used extensively for games that failed due to their AI use. Fallout 76 had glitchy AI. Gen AI use. Because like when I think to myself, let me finish that thought. That way I can like. I would love example counter examples. I would love counter examples to get educated. Because that's the funniest thing for me is like in this situation, is like, we're in a situation to where, hold on, let me just like hello lady. Anyways, we're in a situation to where it's incredibly crazy to where AI is a huge thing. Claire Obscure almost got canceled for generative AI, but at the same time, oh my god. Like, here's a case in point. I was just about to say, Game of the Year game was someone tried to cancel Game of the Year because there was an art asset that was like still in the game. Retracting, yeah, like for whatever reason, award retraction for Claire Obscure was in massive player backlash over AI use, assistant in neverness to ever. Because like again, like the whole thing with Claire Obscure AI was, hold on, let me see. Claire Obscure AI in question. It's the AI in question is just regarding like I even like for me personally, I don't even know like what the discussion is. Where, hold on, let me just like. This is the thing in question that had AI. Somewhere here, there was a thing that didn't look right. But again, the fact that you had to look at it with a microscope and see, oh, there's generative AI of a picture that's on a newspaper and other parts of the game, instant cancel. People trying to cancel that game from just that alone shows the tourism that people have when it comes to these games, to where you have AI, I will not touch. But it's just art assets, and it's not. It's like what? Like it's a nothing burger of a thing that they're canceling about. And then recently there's controversies to NTE, or like the recent Neverness to Everness anime Grand Theft Auto game, to where I don't know the extent of that use in AI. I don't know the actual extent of that drama with Iron Mouse and that generative AI, but it's incredibly wild to think that, oh, you use a bit of it. There are people that are in a position to where any use of AI means that we're canceling our support for your game is incredibly wild. But yeah, no, like in a very like, but this tangent started because I had the funny idea of like, at the very least, they're not American, because I've only ever oftentimes I've been hearing the whole thing, because like the easiest example of like news in front of my head, where's that thing from, is the fact that like Elon Musk's obsession with Grok AI and making an anime girl that looks like Mikasa from Death Note. That's like the biggest thing, to where like he as an example has a factory somewhere that's importing water that's causing like this whole entire environment thing in a specific area in America, and the amount of gas you need for an area like that, and the amount of resources you need that's requires cooling of a machine that uses generative AI is incredibly wild. That example in a bubble is very funny, and he's American. I've not heard of a situation. The worst thing I've heard about like Asians is like what is it of Asian AIs is the generative of like there's a voice actor from Sword Art, I believe, that's doing a thing of providing his voice for AI, and that's the thing I'm not going to go over, because this is about Wtphu. Let's see. Model aids and assets using AI-based textures and imaging to 3D to technology. Again, I don't know how hard it is to do this bit. Implementing AI tools into existing art workflow to speed up production time to build an effective AI art pipeline. That is a little concerning. I don't know the extent of these AI models and build libraries optimized for project style. Yeah, because like I will say, I mean, if we had an AI tool that allowed games to look good regardless of frames per second, to where here's the thing, here's a funny idea. What if we had what if we had an AI assistant that prevented games from polygoning in the middle of playing the game? That'd be pretty fun, to where like I would like to play my game that was meant to work, and what do you mean in the middle of me playing the game it polygons? What if the AI prevents the game from polygoning? That'd be great, right? At the very least. That was an issue for Monster Hunter 2. Monster Hunter has a current issue to where occasionally the game will polygon, and I don't know if it's because of my current settings. I don't know if I need a new RAM card that I keep talking to myself about. I don't know if it's something like in my system specifically, but I don't have a workhorse of a computer to like really think about that, right? But for the moment, like the game is still playable. It just kind of polygons when I'm not hunting a monster. In painting, I don't know what that is. And high resolution upscaling of AI products at the level applicable to real world games, getting the latest AI trends and providing, because getting the latest generative AI trends and providing a guide to AI tools for in-house artists. There's a goal where we want a generative AI to be used correctly. We are in an era to where AI is at its worst, because we have AI content creators, We have AI actors apparently, but that's the thing too. Like that's like the worst case scenarios that we're looking at. But like in my opinion, in my personal opinion, as a non-game developer, right, I feel like I trust them a lot. I trust NeoWiz and Round 8 a lot more than I would an American studio. Because, again, we don't have the final product, right? And, like, for all intents and purposes, the drama that has happened with Claire Obscure, Game of the Year, it was the AI tool that was, like, that canceled them was from of many of small things. It was the thing of it was a newspaper with a funky looking picture, and again, that's incredibly small. And you're telling me, and I can accept, like, it makes a lot of sense. Oh, they didn't catch it. Yeah, because it's not in is the word indicative? It doesn't affect the game enough. It doesn't affect the game from. It doesn't prevent the game from being a good game. That's my whole. I think that might be my whole point when it comes to generative AI and AI use in gaming, in artwork. This itself art. I don't know if those eyes are AI generated. I don't know if that brooch is AI generated. I don't know if her necklace of a stopwatch is AI generated. But I do know Lies of P, very good game. But we don't know what the game looks like, and we don't know what parts of the game could be used with the tool to even like properly judge it. That's my personal opinion. Like if they show, because like we hear of an AI creator position, but we don't know what that creative process looks like in that company, because they themselves live in a world where AI will be its worst right now, and it only gets better, right? But there has to be a line between accepting it as a tool and accepting it as the creator, because AIs will never usually we're not in a current space to where AI will ultimately be our only form of content creating. I can't just go to a chat GPT and say, hey, can you put on that one thing that would distract me from the entire world, right? That's the whole thing. It's incredibly weird. I think it's the right move to make, as long as they still have someone who's in charge of art direction and can make sure everything produces is coherent in a coherent way. Yeah, like it's good. It's good to make it. Yeah, because like things are hard to make. Wait, hold on. What did the other people say? Yeah, I don't see why I don't see why a studio can't have concept art, use AI to generate it into a 3D model, saving time, because that's the whole point. We had a dream that AI was meant to be a resource to cut down on to save us time. Like I wish I had I wish I had AI that would like speed up the process of making food, of me. Yeah, they're like that. I like the idea of like pulling down a lever, and then AI would just give me food that was nutritious enough, that would save me space in my brain. But that's me at 2 a.m. wishing I had a reasonably healthy meal generated by AI versus going to McDonald's. I have two choices. At 2 a.m. I actually don't even think McDonald's is open at night. But if it was, there's two options. There's two options at 11 p.m. where I go to Jack in the Box, or I pull a lever that makes a reasonably healthy meal from my fridge, and all I got to do is just like pull a lever, and I get something from my fridge without me trying to think about it because I might be tired at night, you know. Uh, but like, and then have people make anyways. Um, save time and save a ton of time, and then have people make sure the 3D model works and refine it for texturing and animation. People will argue time and time again that time saved is less money to real people, but I say the time saved is the time that can be then spent refining and making the game much better. That's good. Yeah, that's ultimately the dream, right? I don't know why there was a thing about erectile dysfunction. I don't know why. Um, now, now this guy's a tourist. Last P while it lasted. Now whatever its sequel is has gone from an immediate day one to maybe in a few months, maybe it's on sale. As long as the game looks and plays great, I don't. Yeah, yeah, like that's incredibly true. Because like there's a situation where okay, use generative AI. We didn't even the fact that's the part of the thing to where like we didn't even know that there was a part in Clair Obscura that had generative AI, and you're telling me that you're gonna cancel that game for something as insignificant as a newspaper that's posted on a wall. That is wild. That is wild. Don't want to be that guy, but if you NeoWiz has been using AI before. 99% of game studios in the past decade have. Nothing new. It's likely going to keep extremely hidden and low key given how stupid the social media. That's it. Midius the Pure. Art Mage player. Love indie games. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see what the replies are. Let's see the quotes. Um, Vile Company. From now on, Liza P is mine, and I made Romeo. Okay. And I don't know what that's coming from. What do you mean you don't know what fun while lasted? You don't know what's fun until you play it. Um, disappointed. Again, like it's crazy. It's funny to like. Mm, I don't understand that one. Um, let's see. It's do they not realize how this already taints games they've reduced? If their AI might have do I won't comment, but I will say maybe AI would have helped you with that with like the spell check, you know. Spell check is an AI. Spell check is an AI. Is spell check modern spell check is largely AI powered. So you're telling me you don't you say fuck AI because AI corrects your fucking pronunciation of reduced? You're telling me that to say produce you say with it like reduced? Oh my god, that's wild. Hmm. You retarded bunch from the comments are not giving a damn if it's just concept art. Respectfully, how do you manage to think? Wait, what do you mean deserve to? What do you mean deserve to live? Oh, it's translated, so it may mean differently in Portuguese, but like, ultimately, I think this is fine. I think we don't know what the generative AI or AI, what the generative AI looks like. Like, if it makes a tree perfect, um, walking by it, that's great. But I don't know. I feel like this is a nothing burger for now, just because we don't know what the product is. We haven't seen what the product is. They're working on a game, and worst case scenario, they're using a generative AI tool to help out on things that no one is specialized in, and then they critique the AI until it's improved. Right? That's the worst case scenario. I don't know. That's just my take. I think it's really crazy to where people are canceling this game over like a nothing burger, but I digress.